How's it going? This is Justin from the Tree of Woe Show, making my long-awaited, by myself really, return to the Raw review. As you know, I haven't been here for a while due to football and just being on airplanes. But we're here now. Time is up. Time is now. Let's get into this. Show starts off with Paul Heyman and CM Punk just chilling in the ring. And you kind of knew this was going to happen based on how last week ended with the whole referee thing. Poor Brad Maddox. So they call him out, and they're like, listen, show the highlights. You know, he ends up admitting he was wrong. They made a little stab at the NFL replacement refs. AJ comes out and just tries to defend him, and then CM Punk kind of, calls out the past, shows the, proposal to him, and Heyman ends up proposing to AJ, and AJ slaps him. It was an interesting opener, I guess you can say. I mean, it got the point across, like CM Punk got his point across of, hey, you're treating me like crap because I didn't want to marry you or whatever. So, I mean, it got its point across. I don't really know how I felt about it. It's not like I didn't like it, but it's not like I liked it. It was just there. I don't know. And then backstage, you had AJ with your boy, Brad Maddox, one of the top refs of all time. And she basically was getting all like, I tried to stick up for you. If this ever happens again, I will make sure you never work in this business again. So we got hashtag brutal AJ. So yeah, she's, just doing her thing with the refs. Then we get first match of the night in a match that is never, and I don't care what anyone says, never has happened before. Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. I'm so glad we got this fresh feud. All jokes aside, this match was, I really liked this match. I'm not even going to act like, we've seen this so many times. This sucked. I made the joke about seeing it so many times before the match started, but then they won me over because I was like, this is nuts. R-Truth, Little Jimmy, and Vicky, and little Jimmy as well, don't get it twisted, all got ejected from ringside before the match started. So that was, Vicky got some water in the face. That's, how that goes. Aaron Rodgers rumbling, stumbling, first down. But Dolph Ziggler ends up getting the win here, which made this match even better. I mean, even though, it wouldn't have made much sense, but it was a good enough match where if Kofi would have won, I would have been like, okay, whatever. But Ziggler winning, added to the already good match, so that was awesome. Moving on. We got the first of what would be a few segments of Kane, Daniel Bryan, and your boy Dr. Shelby at the diner. Kane is the waiter this time, but he's really not Kane. His name is Gerald, I think. I think they said Gerald. And I'm Gerald, and I'm a waiter. Oh, these things are classic. Like, I didn't know how I felt about this when it all started, like back in whenever this all started going together, but I am all for it now, obviously, as I'm sure a lot of you are. I thought it was classic. And then we get the Primetime Players versus Santino and Zack Ryder. Oh, man, the most kid-friendly team you can throw out there against my boys. But, the PTP ended up getting a win. Titus O'Neil with the gruesome slam. He straight whap. He slammed that dude. But, so I liked this match simply because I don't like Santino and he lost. B, the people that beat him are the Primetime Players, who I happen to like. And Titus O'Neil just straight said, drop the hammer on him. So, will we see Kane and Daniel Bryan against the Primetime Players? I don't know. But I would not be opposed to it. Imagine the dynamic of like Kane and Daniel Bryan against Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. That'd be nuts. There's a lot of things they can throw at him, but we'll get to that when it happens. And then we get a special guest coming out. Car crashes during it. Mick Foley comes out, and he just randomly starts talking about CM Punk. And Punk ends up interrupting him, obviously. And they start talking about Hell in a Cell. Mick Foley, a great guy to bring in to talk about Hell in a Cell, seeing as The Undertaker can't really come in and talk about stuff like this, and Triple H is like dead or whatever, has a haircut. So Mick Foley's the guy you bring in if you want to like bring a nostalgic guy to talk about Hell in a Cell. And he brings it, talks to CM Punk about, this segment ended up being really good, by the way, just for the record. And they start talking about Hell in a Cell, and CM Punk ends up going, he's not going to put himself through hell for the people. He starts talking, and then it got real. He's like, I've been the champion for 300 and whatever days. And then Mick Foley just spits. He goes nuts. He's like, it's about the moments, not the dates. No one cares about statistics. Would you rather be a statistic or a legend? And CM Punk just kind of sits there like, what? And I was like, oh, this ball I'm just dribbling out here. I'm just hyped. I'm hyped up for Mick Foley right now. But, yeah, this turned into be a great segment, in my opinion, just because Mick Foley was dropping some wisdom on CM Punk, and it was awesome. So basically, the moral of this was Mick Foley was trying to get him to face John Cena at Hell in a Cell. Then we get Miz versus Ryback. Ryback's first match against a guy that's not Jinder Mahal. And before it started, I was like, man, how are they going to do this? I mean, you don't want Miz to look weak, but you don't want Ryback to look weak. Apparently, we do want Miz to look weak, but hey, Ryback destroys the Miz. He beats him so fast. And, hey, if they're doing big things with him, I'm cool with it. Like, hey, Miz, I love you, but let's be honest here. Ryback, if Ryback can, reach his potential, it's go time. And this is just a stepping stone on to what I think is going to be just Ryback going nuts. So I was cool with this. Miz is in my Fave 5, but hey, Ryback's the man. A fan tried to enter the ring. I mean, if you're going to try to enter the ring, don't be dressed like a jackass. Like, did you see what he was wearing? His boxers up to here looking like he's 14 years old. What the hell are you doing? But, yeah, I'd like to see him. If he would have ran and attacked Ryback would have said, "Bah, the hell out of here." But, yeah. So, Ryback getting a win. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Then we got, what was it? Oh, this was Kane and Daniel Bryan, the next segment where they're talking about how they were hitting all the guys with chairs on SmackDown. And Kane's just like, ow, ow. And Daniel Bryan's like, yes, yes, yes. And Mae Young's like, I'll have what they're having. And it just was ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. But, yeah. Mae Young hopping in there saying, hey. Very sexual segment here. But then you got AJ backstage with the refs, like, hey, do a good job, because I respect you. And then Del Rio, Otunga, and Ricardo roll up, and they're talking about, hey, we're here to talk to you, or whatever. She ends up making a tag match later of Del Rio, Otunga, and Ricardo, yes, Ricardo, against Sin Cara, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus in one of the most hated teams by me that they could ever assemble. But we get to that later. The next match was Wade Barrett versus Tyson Kidd. I love Wade Barrett, and I love watching Wade Barrett knock out people I don't really care for. Tyson Kidd, someone I don't really care for. So, Tyson Kidd, you can catch the elbow. 1, 2, 3. Wade Barrett wins. Guess he's just going to take the Ryback route and just keep elbowing irrelevant people. Whatever. And then you get Michael Cole talking to Jerry Lawler. We all talk crap on Jerry Lawler. We always do. But in this situation, you just got to say, okay, that's really cool. It's awesome he survived, obviously. It's cool that he's doing so good. So I'm not going to complain about this segment, obviously. He looked a lot better than I thought he was going to be. He just talked about how he doesn't really remember anything. The only thing that I didn't like is how they kept showing, pictures of him, with the blue face and, passed out the day of. I'm not really trying to see dead Jerry Lawler pictures or whatever. So that's the only thing I was like, okay, we can not show those pictures so much. But, and then you got the tag match I spoke so highly of. Otunga, Del Rio, and Ricardo against Sheamus, Mysterio, and Cara. Sin Cara ends up pinning Ricardo. I didn't care about this match because I completely despise Team Face. But Bro kicked Otunga after the match. They had the nerve to, at the end of the match, say, Sheamus, quickly becoming one of the greatest world champions of all time. And I said, oh, God. But, and then also, I don't know if you caught it, Sin Cara accidentally kind of got unmasked for a second. Del Rio said, what? And you could totally see his face for a split second. Like if you rewind it, you can clearly see his face. I thought that was kind of funny. So that was the highlight of that match for me. Was the unmasking of Sin Cara. And then we get the last of the backstage segments between Bryan and Kane. It was when, what did they do? It was the salad. Yeah, it was Daniel Bryan. Oh, ow. Daniel Bryan was eating a meatball, and Kane was eating a piece of lettuce, like a salad, and they just wanted to like see how the other one felt. And Kane just ate the salad and was like sniffing, like, "What the heck is this?" And Daniel Bryan's like, "It actually wasn't as bad as I thought." And then he starts getting like, looks like he's gonna puke, gonna puke, and then he pukes all up in the lap of my boy Shelby, which is not nice of him because Shelby, like I said, is the man, and you need not throw up in his lap. Sorry, I'm just watching this play. They're just chilling at like the 2-yard line, so I'm just trying to make sure that crazy things aren't happening. But yeah, and then after the meatball and salad thing, Kane and Daniel Bryan come out, and they're doing their thing. Because, was this a segment? Yeah, they were trying to see what their name was going to be. And, oh my gosh, I can't remember what their name ended up being. It was Teamwork, Hell No, or Friendship, and it ended up being Team Hell No. And so they're just like, yeah, whatever. And then they get attacked by Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow, the Rhodes Scholars, which is pure brilliance. So another tag team that could be great. And then that was the end of that segment. And then we get Layla and Alicia versus Eve and Beth. Eve's team wins. Caitlyn comes out and talks about security tapes and blonde chicks. I didn't care. And then it was Tensai versus Brodus. And again, I didn't care. And then Big Show came out and I didn't care. And then he knocked them both out and I kind of cared, but then I didn't care. And then they announced Orton versus Big Show for SmackDown. And I said, oh, that'll be good. Yeah, we all know how that's going to end up. RKOs, hopefully. But then we get to the main event of the evening. Finally, we saw a person worthy of our time in John Cena. He comes out in his arm sling, and and it's like, in the real world, like if you knew nothing about wrestling and you tuned in and you said, "Look at this crippled guy wearing pink shirts that say Rise Above Cancer," people are just booing him to all hell. You're like, why are these people booing this crippled guy that likes cancer, that supports cancer awareness? I thought that was funny. But he basically says that he will be at Hell in a Cell to fight. And then you get Punk coming out, obviously. And he gets into it with Cena about his title reign's not going to end for a while, let alone to a one-armed man. So he's going to turn around, count to 5, and if he's still there when he turns around, he's going to injure him so bad, it's going to just be bad. And so he turns around, starts counting, and Cena whips out a lead pipe. And by the time he turns around, Punk is like, "What?" And Cena cracks him left-handed with the pipe. And then Punk gets out of there. Cena shakes hands with all the homies at ringside. And then backstage, Mick Foley's sitting there talking, and Punk walks by him. And CM Punk walks back and just kicks Mick Foley in like the knee or something. And Mick Foley falls down. But then the crazy part was that you're just like, wait a minute. Are they really going there? Like, is this just like leading to like a Raw, or is this leading to like a big deal? You see CM Punk get kind of scared, and the camera comes over, and you see Ryback standing there just saying, you're just like, what the hell? So, hey, if nothing else, it made me interested to see where they're going with it. So I'm excited to see what's going on. Are we going to get CM Punk versus the Ryback? We can only hope. But that is the Raw review for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe above if you haven't. Like this video. Comment down below. I'm pretty sure I'm back for Raw reviews for the foreseeable future, unless I have to work for some ridiculous reason. Shout out to workshirts.com, where you can find all your work shirts. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like this video. Comment below your thoughts on Raw. Subscribe above, and we will see you later.